Last time we were here, the name of that video was Buying the Dip. That is the last video. Today, this is episode number 11. Episode number 10 was quite literally titled Buying the Dip. If you bought the dip, you are about to be an incredibly happy person. Nvidia just dropped a $57 billion revenue bomb. I'll say that again. Nvidia just came out roughly 3 hours ago and gave us a massive update, which is over the past quarter, aka 3 months, they brought in $57 billion. And keep in mind, this is at the same time that for the last 2 weeks, the stock market has been getting beat up. Beat up. No joke. Every day for the last 2 weeks, I have had to respond to people letting them know that, hey, like, yo, I understand the stock market is dipping. Buy more. Stop panicking. Buy more. Well, it has paid off. For the last 2 weeks, the stock market has been on sale. And if you did not catch the sale, this should be your last time missing another dip. I'll say that I'll stop right there. This should be the last time you miss a dip. Nvidia just came out and gave us an update that they brought in $57 billion over the past 3 months. And on top of that, the stock market for the last 2 weeks has been scrambling. People have been crying, panicking. Oh my God, the AI bubble is about to pop. And look what we are seeing today. To the people who have been like panicking about the AI bubble, let's call those people the bears. They basically said this is going to be the quarter where all of this stuff explodes. And when I say all of this stuff explodes, I mean they're like, yeah, this stuff has been going on for too long. It is time to call it quits. They have been putting a lot of money on the fact that they were anticipating the stock market to bottom out, crash, go to Great Depression sort of things. The data says otherwise, and Nvidia just brought the data. And everybody that has been excited about AI, aka all of us over here on this side of the table, all of us long-term investors, all of the people on Benson, this is exactly the moment we have been waiting for. Exactly the moment. This vindicates everything that we have been saying about the AI infrastructure spend. And to be fair, we are not in an AI bubble right now. In fact, we are in something that is completely the opposite. We are in an AI buildout. And that buildout is accelerating. While everybody else has been panicking about, random stuff that they read on Twitter or seen on TikTok, we right now are watching everything accelerate. And if you were smart, if you paid attention to the last video, if you were here on this last live or whatnot, you would have got the message that it is time to buy the dip. The dip lasted for 2 weeks. And now it looks like the dip is pretty much over. It looks like the dip is pretty much over. But with that said, what's good, everybody? Welcome to the Benson Report. I'm your host, Phillip Aubrey, and I'm also the CEO of Benson AI. For those that are new here, Benson AI uses AI to do all of the investing for you. So everybody on Benson, by the way, y'all bought the dip, and that was because the app was automatically doing all of your investing for you. Now, the Benson Report is essentially where I come on TikTok Live / YouTube every Tuesdays and Thursdays, if I'm doing my absolute best, Tuesdays and Thursdays, and talk about what's happening in the market, how are we responding, and more importantly, how are we making money off of this? Absolute. Somebody said couldn't have sent that text about that. I don't know what you're saying there, but maybe I could have. But you probably want to be here. There's a lot of information about this. Today's episode is called, of course, Nvidia Unleashed. And then over the next 25 minutes, we're going to go over just two major things. One, how Nvidia just obliterated expectations. I mean, absolutely obliterated expectations with a 25% quarter over quarter data center growth. It is insane. On top of, these already massive numbers. And the second thing is why the past 2 weeks of market panic was essentially only sentiment. It was the perfect opportunity for you to go in, buy things at a discount because the data since forever has been telling us the exact opposite. Now, the market for the last 2 weeks has been pricing in an AI slowdown. And unfortunately, for those people, it doesn't exist right now. It will happen sometime in the future. But as of right now, it's the complete opposite. Things are accelerating. So the question that I think, the question right now is not, is AI spending slowing down? The real question that you should be asking yourself right now is how much money are you going to lose out on by sitting this out? We are watching the largest infrastructure build out in human history. Human history. There's a lot of questions about electricity power infrastructure. We will get to that because it is also not based in facts. I will speak to that later. But right now, the question that everybody needs to be asking themselves, how much money are you going to lose by sitting this out? This is the largest infrastructure build out in human history. If you thought the internet was big, this is about to be 10 times bigger than the internet. 10 times bigger than the internet. So when we come here to talk about this, one, come with questions. That's what we're here for. I'm going to do my absolute best to actually monitor the chat here, actually respond to these questions as I go through it. But with that said, we're jumping straight into it. Nvidia just came out roughly 3-4 hours ago and gave us a huge update on this past quarter. This was Q3 of this year, and it ended with on October 26, 2025. That was the cutoff day for these numbers. And the numbers were absolutely insane. Their data center revenue brought in basically $51.2 billion in data center revenue, which is up 25% quarter over quarter. And last year, this time, it's grown by roughly 66%. This is not a slowdown. Things are actually accelerating right now. Their earnings per share was around $1.30 per share. By the way, all of Wall Street thought that the number was going to come in at $1.25. They came in at $1.30. And on top of that, they just raised their guidance for the next quarter. All of Wall Street was saying, yo, next quarter, Nvidia, we think you're going to be able to bring in, 61, maybe $62 billion. Nvidia's CEO, Jensen Huang, said, joke's on you. We are aiming for $65 billion. And the crazy thing about all of this is just that Nvidia has been dominating their quarterly earnings for the last few years. So they will underpromise and overdeliver. That is what I mean when I say you are looking at a phenomenal company. They are underpromising and overdelivering, but that underpromise is still higher than what Wall Street is expecting. If this is not clicking, what does that guy say? If this is not clicking to you yet, I want you to just understand one simple thing. This is the start. This is not the end. I will say it again. This is the start. This is not the end. Jensen Huang came out. He's the CEO of Nvidia. He came out and essentially said that sales for their Nvidia Blackwell chips are, quote unquote, off the charts. And on top of that, their cloud GPUs are already sold out. They're already sold out. That, by the way, this is coming straight from the CEO's mouth. This is not coming from Reddit. This is not coming from, TikTok. I know this video is on TikTok, but this is not coming from TikTok, Twitter, Reddit. The CEO of Nvidia himself said, yo, we're sold out already. Our chip sales are off the charts. So let's talk about what a 25% sequential growth rate actually means. Back in the dot-com bubble, Cisco was the poster child of infrastructure. If you were alive at that time, Cisco was the equivalent of like Nvidia. Now, Cisco was a phenomenal company, but Cisco brought in roughly $25 billion over the course of a year. Over the course of a year is what Cisco did. It brought in $25 billion over the course of a year. Nvidia, as of today, just announced that they brought in $57 billion in the last 3 months. So when I say that we are watching the largest infrastructure build out in human history, I am not exaggerating it. Right now, what all of us nerds are anticipating is just that AI is going to be 10 times bigger than the internet. 10 times bigger than the internet. I'll say that one more time because I know some people are just driving, didn't catch that. AI is about to be 10 times larger. 10 times larger than the internet. Again, back in the late 90s, Cisco was the poster child. They brought in $25 billion annually. Nvidia just brought in $57 billion in the past 3 months. At this pace, they are essentially on track to do $200 billion. $200 billion in annual revenue with basically 73 to 74% gross margins. That is already 10 times bigger. That is already 10 times bigger. And again, we are just getting started. And more importantly, this is a company that is, on track to do $200 billion in a year while other people are sitting on the sidelines, essentially saying, they're too big to grow that fast. Well, your emotions don't matter here because the data says otherwise. They are growing that fast. These numbers are not numbers that Jensen Huang is pulling out of his butt. These are numbers that have been audited by the most important accounting firms in history. These numbers have been validated. All of this AI spend is going straight toward, or not all of it, a big chunk of this AI spend is going straight towards Nvidia. So to be fair, when companies normally get this size, growth does slow down. Competition starts to catch up and customers start pausing their spending, meaning, hey, we ain't going to shop there every day. We're going to shop, once a week. The last 2 weeks have been pricing that expectation in. The terrified people who have not been investors, who don't follow data, have been sitting on the sidelines trying to trick other people out of their seats and saying, the bubble is about to pop. AI spending is going to cool down. The hype is peaking. Today's numbers essentially say the exact opposite. The core infrastructure providers, it is all still accelerating. It is all still accelerating. And to be fair, there's multiple points out there. I think like the skeptics, the non-believers, I'm just going to say the skeptics, the people who don't understand data are going to say no company can grow 70% at this scale forever. That's impossible. And to be fair, they're actually right there. They're actually right there. We're not saying that this is going to happen forever. We're not saying that this is going to compound at 60% forever. What we're saying is that we are just getting started, though. We know that sometime in the future it will slow down, but it's not now. Every Fortune 500 company in the United States, every single Fortune 500 company in the United States is trying to figure out how to implement AI directly into their businesses. Julio just dropped something important in the chat. Data is not everything, and I could not agree more. But this is not data. We're talking about infrastructure. We're talking about the layer underneath the data. This is where all of the actual chips and bolts actually live. So this is actually not data here. And with that said, again, we have not even gotten started. This is quite literally just the first inning is what we're calling this. Every Fortune 500 company right now is still trying to figure out how do they incorporate AI into their businesses. For everyone that has a job right now, I want you to think about, how often on a normal week are you using AI at your company? That's an actual question. I want to see some answers there in the chat. How often are you using AI at your current job right now? I want to know if the answer is like 0, once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, daily. Give me some answers here. And again, that's actually for the chat. How often are you using AI in your current company, at your current job? We got a few every days. Somebody said 0. Give me a few more. We got like 160 people here. We got daily, every day. Somebody else said 0, every night, 4 days a week, none, 0, 0, 0. For financials only, daily, what we are trying. And Tui, you're spot on. Tui just said they're not even using it yet. The reason why I'm asking this question right now is because this is a perfect example. You are still seeing people who have full-time jobs that are saying 0 times a week, sometimes, maybe once or twice. And then you got a few people who are like every day. And for the people that are saying every day, I can guarantee you most of the time it stops at like a ChatGPT query. You're just touching the tip of the iceberg. But more importantly, that's not even the most important part. The most important part is just that roughly half of the responses that we just saw were sometimes 0, meaning these companies have not fully integrated AI into their businesses yet. We are just getting started. That essentially means we have so much more implementation to actually go through. In a year from now, we are going to see roughly 90% of the people in this chat say, I am using it every single day. I could not do my job without it. And in 5 years, it is going to be, 199%. But right now, we have half of the people here saying, yo, I'm using it sometimes, once a week, twice a week, AKA it is not fully massaged into our system yet. We're just getting started. I'm not joking when I say this. When you look, and the reason why we know this is not because, I'll actually make this very clear. Astro could not be further from the truth. But let me get to that. The reason why we know we are just getting started is because capital expenditure is increasing. Capital expenditure is essentially how much these companies spend to acquire new hard assets, for lack of better words. Those hard assets are going to be Nvidia chips, data centers, X, Y, and Z. They are starting to accelerate or increase the amounts of money that they are spending. And when you think about this, first you need to do all of the spending in order to actually implement AI into these products. Right now, the companies are increasing their spending, not decreasing. What that says is that it's just getting started. Now, it's not just my opinion here. It's not just the numbers that I'm looking at. Other people are also supporting this. McKinsey, which is one of the largest consulting firms in the country, estimates that hyperscalers alone, that includes the Microsoft, the Amazons, the Googles, the Metas, those people, the mega companies, will spend around $300 billion. I'll say that again. Just the top companies, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Meta, just the big ones are going to spend $300 billion alone. Now, I want to rewind a little bit. I want to connect a few dots here. They're going to spend about $300 billion this year. Keep in mind, Nvidia is on pace to have received 200 of that $1 billion. So when we talk about money flowing from the people with the big banks, aka the Googles, Googles, Amazons, Metas of the world, 200 of that 300 is going straight to Nvidia. 200 of that 300 is going straight to Nvidia. Now, another one that just came out by Morgan Stanley said that the big tech companies, so those same ones, the Amazon, Google, Metas of the world, their CapEx spending is going to go up to about $400 billion. So right now, we are essentially saying that on the low end, about $300 billion is going to be spent on AI infrastructure in the year of 2025. And on the high end, about $400 billion. Like, $400 billion? Like, it's hard to even fathom these words right now. $400 billion in the year of 2025? And keep in mind, it's already sold out. Keep in mind, Nvidia still has customers that are lining up around the corner, agreeing to pay whatever price they want to pay or charge. Reuters essentially reports that Nvidia has on the order of essentially $500 billion. $500 billion booked for revenue in the year of 2026. So in the year of 2025, it looks like they're about to be bringing in roughly $200 billion. Reuters right now is saying that, hey, it looks like Nvidia is going to be bringing in roughly $500 billion in chip purchases in the year of 2026. It's absolutely insane. I know these numbers are hard for us to wrap our minds around. Like, $200 billion, what does that even mean? I don't know, but what I do know is that next year is going to be twice as good, a little bit more than twice as good. And this is, by the way, when we say this $500 billion that we're talking about for next year, this is not the maybe they'll spend it. This $500 billion, that is capital that has already been approved by the board. It has already been budgeted for. We've basically locked in a multi-year AI infrastructure build out. So the question isn't whether or not they'll spend it. It is going to be who captures most of that spend. And of course, the easy answer is Nvidia. The easy answer is Nvidia. But there is still another $200 billion that, is unaccounted for. Which companies are going to get that $200 billion? Which few companies are going to get that? Now, let's zoom out a bit and look at a pattern of platform shifts versus bubble dynamics. Since the 1990s, we've had essentially three major platform shifts. In the 1990s, we were building out the internet. Of course, we all know that. That created trillions in value. Even accounting for the dot-com crash, that still created trillions of dollars in value. And then moving on to the second platform shift. From 2007 to 2020, that was the mobile cloud era. That was when, iPhones blew up. That was when cloud infrastructure became a big deal. And that created roughly $15 trillion in value. And of course, that happened through multiple corrections. We're not saying it was a straight line up, multiple corrections, but still overall up and to the right. It created $15 trillion in value. 2023, aka the start of this AI gold rush. Currently, we are at roughly $5 trillion in created value. And the estimates right now are somewhere in the range of $30 to $50 trillion in opportunity. I'll say that again. $30 to $50 trillion is what's at stake right now. It's insane. 2008 through 2020, it was just 15 trillion. Today, it's double plus more. And it's way more than what happened in the 1990s. There's basically two types of technology cycles. And this is a little education. There are basically two types of technology cycles: infrastructure builds and application layer. Infrastructure build, I think the easy example that I always go back to as an investor is, when refrigerators were actually created. That was the infrastructure. People like to think that the creator of the refrigerator made a lot of money. They actually did not. You know who made more money? It was the people who implemented refrigerators into trucks so that now we can ship food across the country and keep it frozen. We can ship food across the world and keep it frozen. So that's the difference between infrastructure and application. Infrastructure is the bare bones, what allows a system to exist. Application is how do you apply that to make even more money. Right now, we are still in the infrastructure part. And then in the next few years, we're going to start seeing this infrastructure of AI be applied to creating more and more valuable businesses. And right now, the main company that is allowing all of this to happen happens to be Nvidia. Now, if you want to close your eyes and say I don't want to think about anything, I want a solid idea, of course, I think most people are looking at Nvidia. We're doing way better than what Nvidia is doing, but let me focus on what we're here to discuss right now. Application layers are essentially built on top of infrastructure. And that is where most of the value is actually created. The 2007 to 2020 kind of boom that happened, that was because the internet was the infrastructure. And because we had the internet since the late 90s, everybody was able to, have Instagram on their phones by the time 2004, 5, or 7 came around. We had cloud infrastructure because of all of that. So right now, we are in year 2 of 10 for the AI infrastructure build out. Right now, everybody's anticipating that it's going to take us about 10 years to get to peak infrastructure. We are planning that, to get where we need to go, it's going to take us 10 years of spending to get there. Right now, this is just year number 2. And NVIDIA's numbers essentially confirms that we are nowhere near saturation. We are in the acceleration phase. The dot-com bubble saw companies with no revenue worth billions of dollars. Today, Nvidia is doing $65 billion in revenue in 3 months. And on top of that, their gross margins are roughly 73%. This is not speculation, by the way. This is not, the weeby-jeeby magic here. These are hard numbers. These are dollars that have been transferred over. These are hard sales, monitored by accounting firms and, of course, all of the money that Nvidia is sitting on right now. Now, to be fair, what we don't know yet about all of this is which applications are going to, really take AI to the next level. I think, all the beginners think that AI is just ChatGPT, and you could not be further from the truth. In the next 5 years, the internet, the AI world is going to look completely different from what we see today. So how do we apply this AI? We still have to figure that part out. But what we can say is that people are investing now so that they can reap the benefits of when all of this stuff is built, because it's being built now. So what does this mean for your portfolio? Because that's what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about money. None of this matters if we are not making money off of this. This means three simple things. Number one, this is validation. All of the naysayers just got slapped in the face hard, because they thought a bubble was popping when, more importantly, we're so far from a bubble. And to be fair, I'm not saying that we're far from a bubble because that's how I feel. I'm saying we're far from a bubble because a bubble requires a lot of credit and debt. And these companies are paying for this with cash flow. They are not borrowing money to go out and buy these chips. They're saying, yo, I got 10 billion here. Take it. Cold hard cash. In order to be a bubble, you need credit. When you look at the 2008 crash, that was because of credit, aka mortgages, aka loans. Bubbles don't exist without credit. And the credit, again, is like, hey, I'm going to borrow this money from my homeboy, and I'm going to go and try to pay for something else. Then you find out your homeboy never had that money. You gave over fake money, and now the entire system is crumbling. Well, that's the furthest thing from happening. That's the furthest thing from what's happening right now. Right now, we are seeing companies pay for these chips hand over fist with cold, hard cash. So if you thought that the infrastructure trade was about to explode, you just lost out on major money. And to be fair, I shared stocks on November 3rd, aka this month. And I'll be very, very transparent here. Within the first 2 weeks, aka 2 weeks from the day we started sharing those, some of those stocks dropped 10, 15, 20%. And because of that, people were panicking, and I understand it. And what I had to tell people was like, look. Just wait until it rebounds. Buy it while it's cheap. That rebound is happening now. Nvidia's quarter just confirms that AI data center build-out is accelerating. The opportunity is not just Nvidia, by the way. And I think everybody here who doesn't have Benson investing for them, of course, you're naturally thinking, yes, let me just go buy Nvidia. You'll be okay. But while Nvidia has jumped up, I think, what has Nvidia done for the year? Nvidia has jumped up 35% this year. Our best stock, which is a supplier to Nvidia, has jumped up essentially 224%. 224%. So Nvidia has done 35. We've done 224% off of this one stock. So the opportunity is not just Nvidia. And if you're smart, you understand that what the real opportunity is the companies that live below Nvidia, all the companies that supply Nvidia, all the companies that help build out these data centers. That's where the real value is. Because while Nvidia jumps up 35%, again, we have stocks that supply Nvidia that have jumped up 224% in the exact same time frame. Now, I'm not going to, I'm not about to share all of our research here to be like, oh yeah, here are the 12 of them that we think are super exciting. No. If you want to know those stocks, of course, you are jumping on Benson because they are still available in the app now. But this brings me over to the second point. What does this mean for your portfolio? If you, as an example, said, oh my God, I'm panicking right now and I'm about to go out and sell off all my AI stocks so that I can buy the safe stuff, you just shot yourself in the foot. You sold the AI stocks while they were down. and then you jumped into some slow growth companies. Jumping into slow growth companies while we are watching the largest build out in human history is absolutely diabolical. It's insane. That is the equivalent of you saying, hey, I see that, we're spending so much money here in AI, and I'm about to go jump in and buy a Procter & Gamble, the company that makes toothpaste. It just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. So if you rotate it out of growth to focus on, the defensive stocks or the value stocks, you've lost. That quite literally may have been the worst thing you could have done all year. And then over to the third point, time horizon matters a lot more than timing. Short-term investors right now have been getting beat up, left, right, up, down, been getting slaughtered. And it's because short-term investors have been saying, yo, I am trying to predict what's happening in the next 2-3 weeks. It's a losing game if you're trying to predict what's happening in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Where the winners are winning is saying, hey, I'm investing for the next few years. I really don't care what happens over the next few weeks. Heck, I don't even care what happens over the next few months. Those people have been able to be consistent with this investing game. Those people started with Benson back in, let's say, January, saw the market rise up, and then it bottomed out in April. What did they do? They continued investing. And then they bought the dip as they were continuing to invest. And then within the next 30 days, the entire market rebounded. Within the next 60 days, the market was at all-time highs, and it kept riding up all the way up until pretty much October, September, October, somewhere around there. If you have a long time horizon, meaning 12 months or more, you are playing this game the right way. But if your goal is to say, yo, I have a crystal ball in my head, I believe Nvidia is going to do this in the next few weeks or next few months, I can say this without a doubt. We are going to destroy you. You're going to be focused on the next 2 months. We're going to be focused on the next 2 years. And over the next 2 years, we see this already. The data is already clear. We're only on year number 2 of 10. We're about to see a lot more spending happen. And again, we have not even introduced debt to the system yet. We have not even allowed all of the rich sovereign entities out around the world to jump in here. Right now, I think one thing that's cool. I know there was news earlier this week that SoftBank sold off all of their Nvidia. I got about a dozen text messages about it, rightfully so. And they're like, oh, SoftBank sold off all their Nvidia. Should we panic? I'm like, no. They sold off their Nvidia to have cash flow because they are raising a $100 billion, I think the number is $100 billion, in order to invest in AI deeper. So again, it's like people read the headline, oh my God, SoftBank sold off all of their Nvidia. Yes, they made a boatload of money off of Nvidia, and now they're saying, yo, we found some other place. We need all the money we can get if we want to participate in this next decade of growth. So they sold it off to reallocate it back into AI. And instead of focusing on NVIDIA, they're moving a layer beneath NVIDIA to say, yo, who are all the suppliers of NVIDIA? Who are the people that are building out the infrastructure that is going to be needed over the next decade? Who is supplying all of that? But again, I understand this. If your goal is to make money over the next 2 weeks, you just got screwed. I can't underscore that enough. Your job right now should be to say, hey, I'm about to start investing, and I'm going to commit to doing this for at least 12 months. Because you're going to wake up in 12 months and you're going to realize that, like, oh, crap, this is way better than what I was doing when I was just, getting 2% here, jumping out. This brings me over to, of course, not even shameless about it. This is why we are all using AI to do our investing for us. We are not in this game. We are not in this game to say, yo, we need to memorize all this information. We need to track all these companies. No, buddy boy. We have AI that is quite literally doing all of the research, the buying, the selling, the reinvesting, the rebalancing. It is doing all of it for us now. And I mean that now. So if you've been listening to me this whole time and you're like, yo, how do I take advantage of this? Easy. Go straight to your app store, download Benson AI, get set up. It's really that simple. And if you don't believe me, by the way, because I know there's some new people, if you don't believe me, Drop your questions in the chat. There are other people in the chat right now that do use the app. So this, you don't even got to take it from the horse's mouth. You can quite literally ask people in the chat. Benson is your AI investing app that does all of your investing for you automatically. We research thousands of stocks each month and show you our best 10. Once you approve the ones you like, we take care of the rest. Buying and selling all automatically. All automatically. I cannot underscore that again. All automatically. So again, over the past 2 weeks, while the stock market has been down, we were automatically buying the dip. Buying the dip on some of the most valuable companies for the next few years. All automatically. No joke. And by the way, if you do download Benson, understand that I am actually going to text you myself. I know people are not used to that. I know people are not used to that. But I will text you myself because I want to make sure that you are fully set up. If you're curious, drop questions in the chat because other people here do use the app. You don't got to take it from me. We also have over 1,000 reviews on the App Store. You can read the reviews, see what other people say. And right now, we are at the start of one of the next huge super cycles. This is year 2 of 10. So if you have been trying to figure out how to get involved in investing, it's simple. Let AI do the job for you. Go ahead and download the app. It's really that simple. Now, with that said, moving on to the second part about all of this. We've been strategic about buying the dip over the past 2 weeks. So everybody's panicking. We've been scooping things up automatically. Now, the reason why I say if you are a long-term investor, you are not worried, it's quite simple. Because if you're a long-term investor, you don't care about a dip that happens over 2 weeks. In fact, that dip that happened over 2 weeks helped you buy more at a cheaper price. If you have, let's say, a 5-year time horizon, 2 weeks does not matter. 3 months does not matter. Discipline beats discretion every single time. I think about it like we can apply this like the most simple things possible. If you are, as an example, trying to get into shape, the most important thing you can do for yourself is be disciplined. You're going to wake up every day. You're going to make excuses on why you should not go to the gym, why you should not run, why you deserve to get cold stones. By the way, cold stones is my guilty pleasure. So I'm talking about myself here when I say this. You're going to make that decision every single day. But if you are disciplined, you said, hey, I feel that way, but I know that I need to stick to the plan. Sticking to the plan if you're trying to get in shape is, of course, get to the gym, eat healthy. Discipline over discretion every single time. And the people that are able to stay disciplined are the ones that wake up in 6 years and say, yo, I am able to bench. I think my goal right now is to bench 225. I ain't got that much muscle, y'all. It's okay. It's okay. My goal is to get up to 225. I'm working up to it. I'm not there yet, but, that's my goal. And right now what I'm doing is, lifting 3 times a week. And if I miss it, throughout the week, then I'm going on a Saturday. Discipline over discretion every single time, because discipline allows you to commit to doing what you're supposed to do because you know that that's what's best for you. This is the same thing with investing. If you want to wait until you feel good to invest, I can guarantee you will never feel good. Every single day, you're going to find somebody who says it's a great idea and somebody else is going to say it's a bad idea. But when you start to realize the people that win in this game, they say, I don't care. I am going to continue investing over the next 12 months. And then they're going to be like, 12 months was easy. I'm going to continue investing over the next 5 years, so forth and so forth. The longer you allow your money to work for you, the more money you make. So while everybody has been fixated on Nvidia's headline revenue, I think another exciting thing about all of this is that the gross margins are still incredibly high. The gross margins are incredibly high. Right now, their gross margins are roughly 73, 74%. Guidance for the next quarter is saying that those gross margins are going to bump up to 75% as they ramp up production of their brand new architecture. So they're not just winning on volume. They're also winning on pricing power. They are able to charge as much as they want and people continue buying. When a company can scale revenue this fast and expand margins, it essentially means their customers see so much value that they are willing to pay a premium price even as supply increases. Even as supply increases. Now, moving on to the second part about all of this, I told you I'm only going to go over two main things here. Second part about all this, second headline here, is sentiment versus data. Again, over the past couple of weeks, the NASDAQ has dropped roughly 5%. That sounds terrifying. I understand it. I felt it myself. The NASDAQ has dropped 5% since late October, since its late October highs. And of course, the big AI adjacent companies like Meta saw double-digit declines. And to be fair, I am personally invested in Meta doing well. I do own Meta. My lady also owns Meta. I want Meta to do well. So there was a point where Meta dropped over the past few weeks, and I think one day it dropped 11%. If I was a rookie in this game, I would have panicked. But because I'm not a rookie in this game, I'm a seasoned vet here. I bought more Meta, plain and simple. Over the past few weeks, of course, we've seen this across the board. Across the board. The big companies getting beat 10, 12%. And I think the people who have been afraid are saying, rates are still too high. AI CapEx is unsustainable. Companies are going to slam on the brakes. Sure, that's how you feel. I understand how you feel, but the data says otherwise. Nvidia came out and said, actually, CapEx is not slowing at all. Orders are not slowing at all. And in fact, our demand is, quote unquote, again, off the charts. Markets are driven by two different forces, narratives and numbers. Now, I'll say that again. I want you to actually, anybody here who has the goal of actually making money off of this, I need you to understand this. I need you to understand this, so I want you to repeat it after me. Narratives versus numbers. Narrative versus numbers. Narrative versus numbers. Those two things are very different. The narrative is the headline. It's how you feel. It's the positioning. It's the Twitter people talking about, the .com bubble is here again. The numbers are the hard data. The earnings, the orders, the CapEx, the cash flow. Narratives update every few minutes. Numbers update once every quarter, aka when they come out and say, hey, here's the new numbers. Narratives versus numbers. If you follow the narrative, I can guarantee you will continue to lose. If you continue to follow the narratives, you will lose. If you focus on the numbers, no one can shake you. You are going to hear somebody say, oh my God, the .com bubble is what we're experiencing right now. And then you're going to pick up the numbers and be like, well, the .com bubble had a lot of debt. We have zero debt in this system. Well, the .com bubble had companies that had valuations that didn't make sense. Right now, these companies are bringing in $36 billion or $56 billion in revenue. The numbers are the source of truth. You cannot lie about the numbers. Well, some people can, but they go to jail. You cannot lie about the numbers when you are a Nvidia-sized company. All of your financials are being audited by everyone. You have the biggest microscope on your back. Everyone is paying attention to the numbers. This is what separates rookies from the seasoned vets. Rookies are going to say, oh, I heard this random thing, and it made me make a very silly decision. I decided to sell everything because I heard this on Twitter that, the world was ending. And if you had followed the numbers, you would have saw a very different ballgame. And if you don't believe me, let's take a rewind. Let's go back into history. Let's look at what happened in 2020. If you don't believe me, let's pay attention to what happened in 2020. We all remember March of 2020. That was COVID. We felt like the global economy was over. We felt like everything was going to the pooper. We felt Like, or we saw when we woke up and looked at the news, everybody's terrified of COVID. And we're not here to talk about COVID, but what I'm saying is just that there were narratives that were very prominent at that time. Narratives. The numbers said that the Fed and the Treasury injected trillions of dollars into the system. So the narrative was just that the world's ending, the economy is crashing. And at the same time, the number said otherwise. We printed more money during that period than we have ever printed over the entire existence of the United States. We put a lot of money into the system because, again, the world was not ending, and the numbers told you that. And the numbers told you it before you ever realized it. Plain and simple. Same pattern here. The narrative was just that the AI bubble is popping, spending is done. The numbers told you the truth. The number said the hyperscalers' CapEx are just getting started. Nvidia's orders are, again, off the charts. The numbers said otherwise. And to be fair, I understand this. I understand why we focus on the narrative instead of the numbers. Humans, by default, are hardwired for recency bias. 2 bad weeks feels permanent to most people. 2 bad weeks feels permanent. And then you have like a company that comes out and tells you the best news possible, and you think of that as temporary. What I'm saying here is that it is very easy to listen to the little voice in the back of your head. We are hardwired to listen to fear. We are hardwired for it. And this is exactly why you have to train yourself to say, what do the numbers actually say? So the next time you feel this, the next time you feel that fear of the world's ending, I want you to repeat again, narratives versus numbers. The two are different. You can pick which side you want to be on. But history says if you focus on the numbers, you win at this game, especially if your goal is to make as much money as possible. And y'all know why I'm here. I am here to make money. This has been the best year of my investing history. My personal portfolio is at somewhere around 200% since January. Last year, my personal portfolio did, I think, like 98%. I'm at 200% since January. So this has gotten even more serious for me because I've become obsessed with the numbers. And, you know, that has also been the brains behind what's building Benson. We are obsessed with the numbers. It's very easy for us to focus on narrative. It is incredibly difficult to focus on numbers. And that's why we know that there's value when you focus on the numbers. Plain and simple. Narratives versus numbers, narratives versus numbers, narrative versus numbers. I want that to be glued and seared into your head. And to be fair, you know, there are some people right now, even after watching the Nvidia report, is going to come out and say, you know, this is just one quarter. You can't extrapolate this forever. Sure. And then everybody who's focused on the numbers say, hey, fundamentals always win over fear. This proves AI is not a bubble. We are just at the start. This is just the first inning of this 10-year cycle that we are all about to experience together, for better or worse. Now, the real takeaway, in my opinion, is that over the last few weeks, those AI and growth companies sold off on the fear that CapEx was slowing down and valuations was too high. And at the same time, Nvidia's order books, the hyperscalers' CapEx all just increased, pointing out that this is a part of a multi-year commitment. This is not just a one-off sort of situation. This is multiple years of commitment to buy more and more Nvidia chips. So we get this sentiment-driven correction inside of a fundamental uptrend. I'll say that again. I know that's a mouthful. We have been looking at for the last 2 weeks, sentiment, aka narrative-driven corrections happening inside of fundamental uptrends. And to be fair, I get it. 2 weeks does feel like 2 months, especially when you're living under this administration. But when you are, and it feels even worse, especially if you're at the start of your journey, if you're at the start of building up your portfolio. But I need you to understand this. If you focus, if your thesis, I'll say this, if your thesis is, hey, The AI infrastructure build out is happening over the next 5 to 10 years. You don't care at all about 2 weeks. The only thing that changed over these past few weeks was how scared people felt about a price. Everybody walked into Louis Vuitton and said, oh my God, Louis Vuitton is so expensive. The world's about to crash. And you're like, sure, I can't afford Louis Vuitton. But just because I can't afford Louis Vuitton does not mean that Louis Vuitton does not have people out there buying Louis Vuitton. People will spend their hard-earned bonuses, their last dollar on Louis Vuitton. And granted, that ain't me. I'm not buying no Louis Vuitton. But nonetheless, just because Louis Vuitton is too expensive for me does not mean that somebody else is not willing to buy Louis Vuitton. Narratives versus numbers. Narratives versus numbers. Now, again, I'm not buying no Louis Vuitton, but nonetheless, Louis Vuitton still has a lot of people who are willing to spend that money. Just not me. Now, with that said, the sentiment or the narrative sell-off translated to an opportunity for all of us as investors. Because all of those other people panicked. They sold it. And the stock dropped 10, 20, 15%. What did we do? We went in, bought the dip. There is opportunity in chaos. When other people are panic selling, you should be panic buying. At that exact moment that you look around and you notice that everybody else is panicking about something, that's probably the time where you need to look at it and say, yo, I should be doing the exact opposite. And when I was growing up, there was something that I got a little pop-up here from Ticketed Talk. When I was growing up, there was something that one of my mentors told me. It was, oh crap, it didn't go through. Let me try this again. 1 second, y'all. My mentor gave me something, but I need to solve this CAPTCHA for Ticketed Talk because they think I'm not here right now. I don't know why. I'm going to try this again. What is going on here? There we go. Here we go. Let's try this again. Boom. Now, perfect. When I was growing up, I had a mentor, and this mentor explained one simple thing to me. And to be fair, it has stuck in my head forever. If you want to win, you have to do the thing that is not as common. If you want to make a lot of money, you should not be going to ask a broke person how to make money. If you want to be a bodybuilder, you probably need to find a bodybuilder who is going to help you get there. If you want to be the best boxer in the world, you need to find the best boxer that you could find and ask for help. But you should not be going to the street fighter, asking him, how do you become a phenomenal boxer? So, if your goal is to win in this investing game, understand this. You should not be taking advice from everyone. There are lots of people here who are going to, and to be fair, I don't even want you to think of me as a perfect investor. I surely don't. But what I want you to understand is that if your goal is to make money, you need to stop listening to broke people. Plain and simple. All of the people that have been crying about the AI bubble popping, they likely were never invested in the first place. They likely have no idea what data actually means. They likely heard that from, Fox News or CNN, wherever people go for news these days. Grabbed that headline, didn't read the article, and said, yep, it's popping. If I am trying to become the best investor in the world, I am absolutely not listening to the random person who has never put $1 into the market. Plain and simple. My goal is to make as much money as possible, and as a result, I'm observing what all of these affluent and rich billionaires and millionaires are doing. And all of them, while we as regular people were out there panicking, they were scooping things up. I said this on the last report that I did, episode 10. By the way, if you haven't seen it, go and watch it because it was phenomenal. Which is just that when JP Morgan reported, they basically said the cash balances for their customers are near zero. Meaning all of those people have taken money out of their bank accounts and put it into the market. So rich people were scooping things up while the random people were talking about we're in a bubble. It happens every single time. If your goal is to make as much money as possible, stop listening to broke people. Broke people can only tell you what they've done. And to be fair, to be fully transparent, I had to learn this the hard way myself. No one in my family invests. I learned investing because I was obsessive about reading. And then when I got to college, my school found out I was good and they gave me $500,000 to invest. Fun fact, if you don't believe me, you can go and Google it. My school absolutely gave me $500,000 to invest on their behalf. And while getting that $500,000, I had to be taught by another investor. They didn't just say, Phillip, all your discretion. They said, nope, and we're going to pair you up with a mentor. And that mentor was responsible for investing, what was his portfolio value? A few $100 million. A few $100 million. He was the one who said, yo, this is how you play the game. Look at the numbers. The numbers don't lie. If you don't believe me there, his name was Patrick Gregory. Go and Google him. You can also go and Google this story. I was a part of the Babson College Fund. They gave you $500,000. And fun fact, while there, I made the single best investment. We held onto that investment for 6 years after I left. And then after I left that college, guess what? I got picked up by a private equity firm to help them invest on the quantitative investing team. There we were investing $8 billion. And then after that, got picked up by another venture capital firm where they're like, yo, we got a few $100 million to invest. Don't believe me? Go and Google that. I worked at Initialized Capital, investing in over 100 startups, reporting directly to Gary Tan and Alexis Ohanian. And then after that, I was just like, yo, all of these people around me got rich by playing the long game. They are not worried about what happens over the next 2 weeks. They are saying, hey, what's going to happen in the next 5 years? Put your money there now, because that's where the future is going. If you have never heard this before, it is okay, because at the end of the day, we are not taught the money game. We are taught how to work until we die. School does not teach you how to make money. School teaches you how to get a good job, how to be a good employee, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, no one in history ever gets rich from their job. You make money by investing. Plain and simple. The rules don't change regardless of how you feel. And I understand that, we sometimes may feel like, no, our job is going to do it. No, your job will never do it. Your job will never do it. You make money, life-changing money, by investing. Every single millionaire worth more than $6 million in this country, most of their wealth comes from their investments, not through their job. There is no job that is going to pay you $6 million a year. Unless you're, one of the top 500 CEOs in the United States, there are no companies that are going to do that for you. So if your goal is to be that first person in your family to kind of change the trajectory of your family, understand that investing is the only way to get there. But hey, wake up in 5 years, take it from me or not. Either way, I am on this journey. Everyone here at Benson is on this journey together. And so far, we've been absolutely crushing it. Absolutely crushing it. Back to what I was saying here, this sentiment sell-off, aka this narrative sell-off, has created an opportunity, and everybody on Benson went to go scoop it up. You have to be mindful of the information that you are consuming. I don't watch the news. I read reports. I have my AI summarize other reports for me. I then pipe that over to another one of my AI tools to help me extrapolate all of the information that I may have missed on myself. And then I write summaries of these reports. I don't care about what broke people on the news are saying. You have to be mindful of what information you're taking in, because that information that you take in will determine your outlook on life. Plain and simple. If you are one of those people that's paying attention to these random, this crypto is going to the moon, you're focused on price movement and short-term stuff. That's all you're going to think about. And you're going to miss the bigger waves that are happening. You focus on quarterly earnings, multi-year CapEx trends, and you start to feel real grounded. You start to feel real unshakable. Nobody's moving you because you already know what the data is saying. So while that person is over there panicking, you're calm and cool. That's the game here. That's called building conviction. That's also why we have Benson explain to you the stocks. Like if you get on Benson, you'll realize that we don't just say, hey, buy this stock, it's phenomenal. No. We don't ever want to do that. We want to say, hey, here are the pros, here are the cons. Are you on board with it? You can quite literally press the button and Benson will start speaking to you, explaining the goods and the bads about the stock. It'll explain to you exactly why we are excited about this stock for the next 5 or so years. And this pattern will constantly repeat. Plain and simple. Your goal is to focus on the good and bad and say, yo, I can get behind the good because I understand the bad is not that bad. There will be another correction. I want everyone to hear that. The stock market going up does not mean it's going to be a perfect straight line. We are going to see another correction. There will be another time where somebody comes out and says, this time AI is done. And if the fundamentals still say this is a multi-year build out, long-term capital will continue investing. This is why I cannot underscore it enough. One of the biggest value adds for Benson is just that it is doing the work for you automatically. It is not asking you, hey, is it a good week for you to invest? No. It is saying, yo, we're investing. You already set the money aside. Let's keep it going. We spotted a dip. Let's buy more. That's what the app is doing for you all automatically. And then on top of that, it's also researching the stocks. It is absolutely insane. Like, absolutely insane. A few years ago, people had to figure all this stuff out on their own. Today, we have AI that is doing the work for you. All automatically. Now, with that said, our playbook here is quite simple. Every time we spot a dip, we are going to continue doubling down on the stocks that we are most excited about. Our system essentially looks at these dips as buying opportunities. While everybody else is panicking, we're buying more because we saw what all the rich people were doing. Every time people hit that fear level, we say, cool, panic more. I don't care. I get to buy more and more at cheaper prices. And then on top of that, we are refreshing our research every single time new information comes out. We're sticking to the plan. And again, discipline over discretion every single time. We're being disciplined about this. We have people on Benson. I think the highest streak I've seen so far is somebody has been investing for 71 weeks straight, no breaks, every single week invested with Benson. 71 weeks straight, no breaks. That means they were here when, it dropped, of course, 2 weeks ago. They were here when it dropped in April, and they continued investing. Fun fact, for the people who bought more during the dip in April, their portfolios on average were 20% higher than everyone else's portfolio. If you happen to have been an investor buying the dip in April, on average, at least with Benson, your portfolio was at least 20% higher than everyone else's. If you stopped in April, you just missed the biggest discount possible. If you stopped investing over the last 2 weeks, you also just missed another massive dip. Our strategy does not change based on how the random broke people feel. Plain and simple. I cannot say that any simpler than that. Now, with that said, my last words on this, it is discipline over FOMO every single time. Discipline over FOMO. Manual people, if you're trying to do this on your own, I will say this, you are going to sell into fear, that you're going to hesitate when it's time to buy back. If you're on Benson, the AI is automatically buying the dip for you systemically, especially during massive pullbacks like what we just saw over the last 2 days. If your time horizon is, to make money over the next 2 weeks, you've lost already, baby. If your goal is to say, hey, I'm going to stick this out for 12 months, it's going to be a fun ride for you. With that said, I have dropped a lot of game here. If you're on Benson, I want to give you one special thing right now. This is actually going to be the stock of the day. I haven't done this in a few weeks. If you are on Benson right now, and I'm actually going to see who does this. There is a stock that is on our top 10 list this month, by the way. It's on our top 10. And tomorrow, I am anticipating that this stock is going to jump up somewhere around. No, you're actually incorrect. And please don't drop any stock names in here. Pam is going to block you if you do that. Do not drop the name of our stocks here. But no, you're still wrong. Tomorrow, we have a stock that we think is going to jump up about, let me check our numbers right now. Our numbers are saying somewhere around 10% tomorrow. And by the way, if you own this stock with Benson, we likely bought it for you last week anyway, because we did notice that it was on sale. We did double down. But because I know that I texted a lot of people to let y'all know that, hey, I'm on live right now. If you open Benson, click on stocks, and I want you to hit the search bar. Pam is spot on. I'm not going to share this stock out loud because we did not get to 100,000 likes here. We got to 74, which is fine, but we didn't get to 100,000. I share it out loud when we get to 100,000, but we didn't get there, so maybe we'll get there next time. But for people on Benson, I do want to tell you this stock because it is still super exciting. We probably bought it for you last week anyway, but I want you to open up Benson. I want you to search for the word rent, R-E-N-T. Do not drop the name of the stock here. If you do, I am going to ask Pam. No, Pam, I don't even have to ask Pam. Pam is just going to block you. Do not drop the name of the stock here. That is specifically for everyone that is on Benson. By the way, if you're not on Benson now, you can just go there, search for it, and do your thing. The search for the word rent, as in like a renter. Yasmin, you just got it. Good job. Good job. Diamond Henderson, you also just got it. Lovely. Andre Britt, you also just got it. Kylis, you also just got it. Tara, you just got it. Search for the word rent, R-E-N-T. Do not drop the name here. Pam is going to block you. Pamela Scott, I see that you just got it. Jalen Burrows, I see that you just got it. Ryan, I see that you just got it. Consuelia, I see that you just got it. Now, with that said, somebody just dropped us a point, which is, hey, I'm in Canada. I cannot download Benson. That is okay. We got something for you. You can go to meetbenson.com. There's going to be a pink banner. It's our newsletter. That newsletter is going to tell you every single month to a T, what are our top 10 stocks? This stock that I'm sharing, by the way, is on that list. If you are in Canada or around, not in the United States, or you're just on an Android, you can quite literally just get the newsletter. The newsletter is going to tell you what our top stocks are every single month. At the same time we release it to people on Benson, you're also going to get that stock. Lady Shirley, I see that you just got it. Nicole, I see that you got it. Myra, I see that you just got it. The word is rent, R-E-N-T. Gerald, I see that you just got it. R Melody, I see that you just got it as well. Kimberly, I see that you just got it. The word is rent. Again, do not drop the name of the stock here. Do not do that. But if you're on Benson, just search for the word rent. If you own it, lovely. Buy a little bit more if you like it. Nathina said, do I buy it or approve it? Both. If you click approve, we automatically buy for you. Don't worry. So yeah. Pam said it's not coming up for me. Pam, log out of Benson, log back in. That just may mean that you were already inside of Benson because I just changed the word to rent. William, I see that you just got it. Kirsten, I see that you just got it. Kendra, Cecilia, Melbourne, Bitcoin Ben, I see that you just got it. Jamie, I see that you just got it. The word is rent. Now, if you have been sitting on the sidelines, you're seeing all these people on Benson scoop up this stock, you're like, yo, why am I not in the game? I don't know is the answer, but let me tell you how to get in the game. Let me tell you how to get in the game. Go ahead and download the app. It will do the work for you. Let's not pretend that you are able to keep track of all of this information. You have a busy life. You're not able to keep track with all of this information that we're researching. Go ahead, download the app, sign up. And by the way, I will text you because I want to check in and make sure that you are doing solid. Donald Bishop asked a question and he said, you said it's looking like a 10% jump tomorrow. Yeah, something like that. Right now, it is looking like it's going to jump 10% tomorrow. Now, of course, Donald, that does not mean that you just go and throw all your money into it. We don't do that. We don't do that. But yes, right now, it looks like it's going to jump about 10% tomorrow. You still want to have a balanced portfolio. We're not saying throw your rent money into this stock. But yeah, right now, it's pacing for a 10% jump tomorrow. If you are on Benson and you're not seeing it, I would just go ahead and log out and log back into Benson and then search for the word rent. Donald Bishop said, nah, bro, I got a couple options on that. Lovely. Tomorrow may be a really nice day for you. Nancy, I see that you just got it. LaQuinta, Latoya, Tanya, Tanya Wood. Would you come to the front, please? Tanya Wood, are you here? Would you come to the front, please? Lena fam, good to see ya. Good to see ya. If you're on Benson and you search for the word rent and you don't see it, just log out, log back in. That means you were already on the app before I changed the name. So yeah, Tanya Wood, Tanya, nice to see you, Tanya. Tanya, by the way, is BB. Tanya, I see that you just, for the first time this month, approved your stocks. We are 19 days into the month. What took you so long? I know you got all of those annoying notifications telling you it's time to pick your stocks, Tanya. Tanya, what was going on? Why were you not responding to any of those notifications to say, cool, this is going to take me 3 seconds to do. Let me just handle it. Tanya says, sorry, no biggie, Tanya. Our job is to, of course, try to make this approval process as easy as possible, Tanya. If you didn't get any of the notifications, shoot me a text because I want to figure out what's going on. If you don't know how to text me, Tanya, you can quite literally open the app. Go to the profile button in the top left and click where it says join CEO Club. I'm going to shoot you a text message immediately. That is going to be my personal cell, Tanya. So Tanya, it looks like you have a sibling in here. The Grind Kit. Is that your sibling, Tanya? Dope. Sister. Oh, that's Kirsten. Okay. Kirsten. One, clearly you told Tanya about Benson. Thank you. I appreciate that. So now, Tanya, you got 2 people that you can ask questions to. 2 people. You got your sister here, who I think has been on the app quite a bit longer than you, which is great. I love that. I appreciate that. But you also got me here. You got 2 people. Our goal together is to make sure that we are all winning here. Steve said, who is Benson AI? Benson is our investing app that does all of the work for you. Actually, Steve, I got you, Steve. Benson is your AI investing app that does all of your investing for you automatically. We research thousands of stocks each month and show you our best 10. Once you approve the ones you like, we take care of the rest, buying and selling all automatically. So Steve, that was for you. Steve 1000, that was for you. That is what Benson is. It's an investing app that uses AI to do all of the work for you. Yeah, plain and simple. By the way, last thing on Tanya, Tanya, you got multiple people here who are willing to help you and answer whatever questions you have. If you are on Benson, you also have direct access to me 24/7. It's for everybody on Benson. The easiest way for you to do that is go and click in the profile button in the top left, and then click on Join CEO Club. I will shoot you a text message. Now, there is something, last order of business here that I am pretty excited about. Earlier this week, we released a new feature. Good night, Consuelia. Appreciate you for jumping on. This has been phenomenal. I haven't seen you in a minute, so this is really, really dope. Kirsten quite literally is spot on. Kirsten said he is telling the truth. He helped me this morning very early. Fun fact, Kirsten and I were talking at 5 a.m. this morning. I'm going to, hold on. I'm going to pull up, Kirsten, your last name starts with an N, right? Kirsten, your last name starts with an N, right? There, I wasn't going to say it out loud, but yes. I want y'all to see, hold on. And Courtney knows because I was at the gym. Let me show y'all the timestamp on this text message. If y'all don't believe me when I say I really be like responding to people, I do want to help you. If you are on the app, figure this out. Kirsten, there's nothing confidential here. Yeah, there's nothing confidential here. If you look at that screen right there, you are going to see that message was sent at 5:15 a.m. And guess what? She got a response. At what time was that? All right, hold on. It's reversed. Either way, y'all see that Kirsten and I were literally responding. I was literally responding to Kirsten at 5 a.m. this morning. 5 a.m. Again, the whole point here is that I don't know what this person was saying. I'm sorry. The whole point here is just that I'm actually here to help. I do understand that at the end of the day, this investing thing can be scary. I do understand that, of course, we have not been taught this game. I do also understand that there are a lot of people, by the way, this is a heads up. I will never shoot you a message on TikTok. That's actually what Tanya and I were, Kirsten and I were chatting about. I will never message you on TikTok. There was someone that was pretending to be me. If you were to like go to TikTok, type in Phillip Aubrey, you're going to see over 100 fake accounts. Understand that I will never message you on TikTok. If you are on Benson, I have your number already. If I see anything wrong with your account, I will reach out to you. I will call you on FaceTime so that you know it's me. Kirsten hit me up because she was just like, hey, somebody's reaching out to me on TikTok. Is this you? And I'm like, no. Why would I reach out to you on TikTok when I got your number, Kirsten? And it's a lot of those people. So please be mindful. But again, I truly want all of us to win. And the best part about this, you winning does not stop me from winning at all. I can make as much money off of this investing game as possible, and that will not at all eat into your returns. I will quite literally do my absolute best to make sure that we are all winning here. That is what I can say. I love my job. This is so fun for me. Every single day I get to wake up and actually talk to real people trying to figure out this investing game. And then on top of that, I get to help them understand this just a bit more than what they already understand. But with that said, there was a new feature that we released on Monday. Or we released it technically Tuesday to most people. People in the CEO Club got access to it early. We have now a new feature where we have essentially helped you create your first investment milestone. Everybody has this question about like, yo, what's the first big milestone that I should hit? Well, you can now set that up directly inside of Benson. If you are starting from zero, we're going to say, cool, your first goal is this dollar amount, and we're going to track your progress towards that dollar amount. Why do we do this? We do this quite simply because I know everybody wants $1 million, but before you get to $1 million, you got to get your first $100 in the market. Before you get to $1 million, you got to get your first $1,000 in the market. And we want to make sure that you understand that you are actually making progress here. So this new feature is available for everyone now. It is called your investment goal. It is right on the home screen. We quite literally are helping you track your progress towards your own goal. We aren't giving you a number out of the West Bumble crack. We're literally saying, hey, based on all of the information we've gathered about you, this is the number that you're working towards as your first goal. You hit that first goal, we level you up to the next goal, and then level you up to the next goal. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback on that feature so far. If you have not created your first investment goal with Benson, go ahead and do it. Because what I do is I start looking at your progress towards those goals, and then you'll occasionally hear from me say like, yo, we got something that we think will help you get there just slightly faster. I'm going to ask you about it. You're going to say yes or no. Boom, handled. That is all that I have. I've been talking for a long time, but it's 9 o'clock, so I'm doing better, Courtney. Any final questions before I break? I'm also starting to sweat, y'all. I got a sweater on. I like this little sweater, y'all. I think this one looks nice. But before I break, any questions, y'all? Any questions before I break? Again, the stock of the day, if you're on Benson, is the name of the stock is Rent, R-E-N-T. If you're not on Benson, that word means nothing to you. If you are on Benson, go ahead and search for the word rent, R-E-N-T. Peaches, I appreciate you too. LA Dodger Girl said, you are awesome, Phillip. I can't thank you enough for Benson and for all that you do. LA Dodger Girl, this is a team effort. I don't ever want you to think that we are able to make this progress without your input as well. The reason why the app has gotten so much better over these past few months is because people like you are all hitting me up to let me know, hey, this isn't working. This is really good. Do more of this. Ignore this, blah, blah, blah. That feedback that you guys give me is really, really valuable. And it makes the app better. So I want to return that to you and say like, hey, we are able to make such good progress because it's a team sport. You know, the way I was explaining it to somebody earlier, I think this was Bitcoin Ben. Bitcoin Ben, you here? I'm going to share this story. Bitcoin Ben was just like, yo, I need you to get me to X dollar amount. And I was just like, I can't do anything alone. I was just like, we have to do this together. If you do your part, I will do my absolute best to do my part. We stick to this plan, we're going to be very happy. Or for sure, we're going to be better off than where we are today. That was a conversation I had with Bitcoin Ben quite literally like 2 days ago. Again, it's a team effort. You are sticking to the plan. You are being consistent. You are giving, of course, cash to Benson so that it can invest for you. And then, you know, I'm working with Benson to make sure it's more easy to use. It's more clear. You have a better understanding of what's happening. It's a team effort. And I cannot underscore that enough. By the way, everybody in the CEO Club, that is why the CEO Club is there, because you guys become like the people I reach out to. I think that is all that I have today, y'all. I do need to get some rest because I am trying to make sure I'm off by 9:30. So again, the stock of the day is Rent, R-E-N-T. R-E-N-T. Search for the word rent on Benson. Now, the last thing that I like to do here is I like to say good night to every single person that is here in the chat. Why? Because all of you guys contributed to me feeling more comfortable, y'all, because I swear, if I show up on live and it's like 3 people here, I'm nervous. I am nervous. I'm like, crap, all of it's gone. Nobody's here. I'm going to be talking to myself. We got up to basically 200 people here in the live, y'all. That meant so much. That gave me more energy to talk. So as a tradition, what I like to do is say good night to every single person here, because one, we got a lot of questions. Your presence also made it a lot more comfortable for me to talk. And some people, this is probably their first time live. I texted a lot of people in the CEO Club today to say, yo, I'm on live. So if you are new here, this is the ending tradition here. So of course, I like to go from top to bottom. Pam, thank you for handling and helping out with the chat. I do appreciate that. I don't take that lightly. Pam is like my go-to person. She kicks all the little scammers out, kicks all the people who come in here trolling, cursing, all those people. She like mutes them. I love it. I appreciate it so much. Thank you, Pam. Patrice, good night. Thank you for being here. Kimberly Draft, of course. Thank you for being here. Kimberly has been very consistent with her timing, so I appreciate that, Kimberly. Steve, good to see ya. Peaches, good to see ya. The grind kit, good to see ya. Thank you for jumping on. Good night. Peanut butter me too. Good night. Ebony, good night. Tui, good night. Tui is Tui, by the way. I may be pronouncing that wrong, but Tui, it looks like you got like a yellow vest on. I do appreciate all the questions you asked. You also dropped a few data points that made it easier for me to roll off the tongue with some of these things, so I do appreciate you, Tui. Rakisha, good night. MD. Melissa, good night. By the way, Melissa finally got set up, y'all. Melissa and I jumped on a FaceTime call last week. She set up her automatic deposit, and she finally got set up. And by the way, Melissa has been here learning for a long time, so I know it takes a lot to jump over that hump. Melissa, I am proud of you. Congrats on making that big move. Courtney, my fiance, of course, thanks for keeping me on time tonight. I'll call you after I jump off. Michael, good night. Gold Duck, good night. Lena Fam, good night. Ming Flower, good night. Trudy, good night. Nicolette Strives, good night. Jacqueline, good night. User 529986341, good night. Nathina Jackson, good night. 24, thank you a lot for helping me out with the audio. I'm hoping that the YouTube audio is just as good as it was here, but 24, I do appreciate you. Media Bully, good night. Miss Culpepper, good night. Jay Shiv, good night. Lala, good night. Easter, good night. Lillian, good night. Simon says blessings, good night. Jean Mark Charles, good night. Maxalead, good night. Daytona 702, good night. King Kai, good night. Miss Hackett, good night. The Saltwater Psych, good night. Pamela L. Scott, good night. Yoli, Yolanda, good night. Boss Ben, good night. Melbourne, good night. Eric A. Ramos, good night. Begin again. I always confuse your name, but I got it at this point. Begin again. Good night. Kendra Belser, good night. Chuck, Larry, good night. BB, Tanya, don't forget, you got two people here rooting for you and supporting you. Let us know what you need. You got your sister here and you got me here. DKG First Only, good night. User 218-7544-510-632. Good night. DJ Ugly 313. By the way, I'm not calling him ugly. His name literally says DJ Ugly. Good night. The ATL, good night. Nathan, good night. Miss Pierce, good night. I saw you that you said you texted me. I will be responding to all my text messages as soon as I get off. Diamond, I don't know if that's Henderson because we were supposed to jump on a call this week. If that is Diamond Henderson there, I think that is. I can't tell. Maybe. Either way, I think Diamond Henderson shot me a text message. I will jump to that text message as soon as I get off. It is you. Dope. Dope. Good to see you. I will respond to the text as soon as I jump off. Toya, good night. Mr. Phillip, a.k.a. Jason Stone, good night. Nancy624, good night. Gerald Bennett, good night. User, by the way, Jason Stone, Mr. Phillip, I'm glad you made it. I know Courtney was saying that you were going to be upset because my schedule hasn't been consistent. I was waiting on this news. Glad you made it, Mr. Phillip. Nancy, good night. Gerald Bennett, good night. User 294-372-96-74072, good night. Ty Cott, good night. Mr. Porte, good night. Toby, good night. Mike, good night. Stop Talking is the name of this person, by the way. It literally says stop talking. Good night. Kareem Brown, good night. WSB Fashion, good night. Nisi loves you, good night. I know that Nisi is just a happy person. If her handle on TikTok is Nisi loves you, you just got to be a ball of joy, Nisi. Mickey, good night. Conti, good night. User 360059, good night. Sia Kaisa, good night. Bill, good night. A. Renee, good night. L Hawk, good night. EP, good night. Jim, JW, Jubilee Play, Sukanami, I have not seen you in months. I have not seen you in months. I know we got you set up, and I have not seen you in months. If that is you, I know that I just mispronounced it, but good night. Glad you are here. Big Bro, good night. Roxy, good night. Mark Okoji, good night. Jay Horowitz, good night. Moment, good night. Char Collections, good night. M. Sylvian, good night. Marco Polo, good night. James Simon, good night. Shoeless Joe, good night. Kathy, good night. Geo, good night. Nancy, good night. Suki, good night. Robist, good night. Hero, good night. Ryan Hill, Donnie, Kenya Canadian, Raquel, Scroller, BB, Norma, good night. Timmy Parker, good night. Mr. Stone, this is also recorded, so it is on YouTube. You will be able to watch it as soon as I click off. Today it is Wednesday. Today it is Wednesday, y'all, right? Hold on, let me double check this. It is Wednesday. I will be back tomorrow. I will be back tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. If you missed this live, go ahead, go to YouTube, type in Benson Report. If you are an investor, enjoy tomorrow. It's going to be a beautiful day. With that said, good night, y'all. Let me end this live. Appreciate everyone that jumped in. I'll be back on Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Peace out.